Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 303. Welcome to Ocho de Mayo, right?
Ocho de Mayo.
Ocho de Mayo.
Ocho de Mayo.
Something like that. I don't know. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm just trying to figure out what Ocho de Mayo is.
I just know. Oh man. See, now you've got me all screwed up.
Ocho de Mayo?
Hold on.
What did we do?
Oh, don't even get me started on what Jins two do.
I'm trying to figure out what you're doing.
I've already lost my mind 3 times this morning.
That's all on you, big guy.
I woke up and was in a good mood. I got to the studio. I'd log in, I get set up.
Oh,
And you two are playing tiddlywinks.
Oh no.
I get in here and Derpy's locked out because Mike's playing games, and then he can't get back in, and then we gotta we have to re-jump the whole entire show.
That sounds like a you problem.
That has nothing to do with me.
That's
You just want to play games, but you don't have to do it as we're starting the show.
You can get here on time to control
Fucking
us.
A.
You can get here on time to control us.
I'm in on my time. This is my time.
You 11 o'clock, man. You show up a half hour late every day.
11 o'clock is your time.
No, that's what the
if you're the guy who works the controls, then you should be here first.
Oh, you work the controls, baby.
I don't work the controls.
I don't work
the controls. You go on and on about how you work the controls.
I don't work the controls.
And you block Derpy out. And
I didn't block Derpy out. I accidentally hit the wrong button.
You accidentally hit the wrong button?
I accidentally.
Didn't he put something up about Saquon Barkley and you blocked him out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it this picture here?
Right there, that's the picture.
Yeah, because Saquon Barkley's dead.
I'm just saying, get each other's numbers and play, play footsies on your own time.
No, I'll play footsie on my time during the show if I want to.
And there you have it. And then the show got pushed back 15 extra minutes for what? For what?
It got pushed back 2 minutes.
No, it wasn't 2 minutes.
It was, yeah, because he came on. Yeah, it was like 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Now we're pushing it back more because of you right now.
And because I'm addressing the situation.
Oh wow, you could have done it off the air.
I couldn't because you were playing games.
Oh, we were getting it all resolved, and you're
getting resolved.
You're making a mountain.
I couldn't get him in.
You're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Good morning, everybody. We did we do got baseball. I think people's Bucko fever is finally going away.
Thankfully.
The Pirates over the last 7 days were outscored 44-9. 44-9. They haven't scored more than 2 runs a game. Starting with the last game of the Washington National Series, they lose 7-2, go on to get swept by Tampa, go on to get swept by Toronto. And by the good graces of God, we have the Colorado Rockies today.
Yeah, we'll see how well that does, because that should ail what's or should fix what's ailing the Pirates right now.
It should, in fact, fix what's ailing the Pirates. However, this Colorado Rocky team that we annihilated 2 or 3 weeks ago, they just swept Milwaukee.
That's not good.
Milwaukee's a half game behind us. We're still in first place. Believe it or not, celebrate, because I don't think it's going to last too much longer. Even if we do go on and have a nice series against Colorado and we are able to gain some ground back, immediately after Colorado, we got 3 at Baltimore. And Baltimore's always tough for us. They've always been tough for us. Yeah. Anytime we play them, I don't know if we've ever won. And then after that, we go to Detroit for 2. But Derpy, what happens? Why is this okay?
You're playing better teams, I guess.
No, Derpy.
162, Derpy.
162.
You have a catchphrase, and we set you up for the catchphrase.
Yes, 162.
There we go. Oh.
They lost Friday. They lost 4-0 to the Blue Jays. Saturday, it didn't get any better. They lost 8-2. And then finally yesterday, it doesn't get any better. It got worse the whole entire time. It was 10-1 yesterday. 10-1.
Oh, that was awful. Like, what was it? Like you said, I got to the studio and I did something for like 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, they scored how many runs? It was insane.
Mike, it's 22-3. is what they got beat over the past 3 days.
It's
Um,
it's not good.
we do have a little going for us. As I said, we are playing Colorado. We're putting the ace on the hill. Mitch Keller's on the hill. He's coming in with a 3-1 average. A 3-1 record, 3.32 ERA, and 48 strikeouts so far this year. His only loss coming against the Tampa Bay last week. Colorado's throwing out Kyle Freeland, who's got a 3-3 record, 3.76 and 26 strikeouts so far this year. I just can't believe we're still in first place.
You know what? We lost at the right time. I've always talked, recently been saying, it's about winning at the right time, getting hot at the right time. We saw the Florida Panthers, they got hot at the end of the NHL season. Now they're wreaking havoc in the playoffs. The Buccos got hot, right? They got hot early, but now they're losing at the right time when everyone else is losing.
Yeah.
This is when you want to lose, when the rest of your division keeps losing. You want to, if you're not winning, keep pace in losing with them so you don't lose ground, I guess. That's the story of the 2023 Pirates. We're going to lose when everyone else loses. We're going to mess up, but we're not going to mess up as bad as everyone else. And that might be enough to get a wild card, boys.
And that wiggle room that we spoke about earlier from jumping out so fast and being ahead of the pace and ahead of the curve. I mean, here we are. We're 20-15 after a 7-game losing streak. 20-15. I mean, you're still up there with some of the better teams record-wise in the league.
Yeah.
If they could get one win, you could kind of build off of that, man. They just haven't been able to do anything. And as I said, he scored 9 runs in 7 games. At what point do you break what's going on and get back to what you were doing? You could say good teams, better teams, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are still pitchers. These are still, the teams we were playing leading up to this, they weren't all terrible teams. They weren't all teams with the worst pitching. Granted, there were a few teams that were pretty bad. Colorado the first time around.
Yeah.
But, like I'm saying, this is between the ears. Am I saying that Tampa Bay and Toronto aren't good? No, those are 2 good ball clubs. No 2 ways about it. I learned a lot about the American League East this weekend, back into last week. You can't take anything away from these teams over there. They got good baseball teams. And as some we've talked about before, the Yankees sitting in last place, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, that division is so good from top to bottom.
That's what we were talking about.
You just met plus a Baltimore team that's in there, plus the Yankees. I mean, geez, we're lucky where we're at.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings now, dude. Like the Boston Red Sox are 21-15. That puts them 4th in the AL East. They would be 1st in the Central.
Yeah,
in our division. The worst teams in the AL East would be 1st or 2nd in the NL Central. So it sucks that we had this losing streak, but we're going up against the best division in baseball right now.
Yeah, I'd like to get it done with.
I want to get it done with. I would have liked to have seen them, play better, but you know what? Use this as a measuring stick. Go, okay, we know what we need to work on. We know what we need to improve on, build on that. Find the positive out of it. Don't just dwell on it like, oh no, we lost. I'm seeing a lot of fans do that. Like, oh God, here we go. The same old Buccos,
Right.
Buccos. Like, no, like Derpy says, this is a 162 game season. There's ebbs, there's flows to the season. We had a 7-game win streak. Okay, now we had a 7-game losing streak. It's gonna happen. You just got to limit these losing streaks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to lose these 7 games regardless over the next 130 games or whatever. I mean, you're going to lose 7 games. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, these things do happen. They're going to happen. But you got to be in control of the situation. And, as we said, we already won 7. So then we lost 7. So let's X those 2 out, start over, start winning some baseball games. Because, again, I mean, how long is this kind of thing going to last? It just takes one of these teams below us getting hot. The Chicago Cubs, who has already shown signs of, they're beating some of the better teams early on, in Milwaukee as well up until the last 7 days. I don't know what's happened in this NL Central, and I can't even imagine what could possibly be going on that every single team has lost every game for a week. I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. It's wild. But hey, we won early. We built that cushion. Like, we talked about that during the Penguin season. You needed to win those games early. So when you had the bad runs, they canceled out. Well, the Buccos were able to do that. They were able to cancel it out. Whereas these other teams in our division, they didn't get off to the hot start. So these losses are working against them. Whereas for the Buccos, it kind of worked in our favor.
Yeah.
And like right now, what in the last 10, St. Louis or the Reds are the best team in our division. They're 5-5.
Yeah.
We're 3-7, but like you said, man, we're still in first. We still have a positive run differential. It's just, let's just get away from the AL East. I'm tired of talking about them. I'm
You
tired
know
of
what?
looking at them. I'm tired of looking at flipping scoreboard every day.
Go look at the schedule. Just keep going. It's all American League. We might as well be in the American League at this point.
I know. It's wild. Yeah, because we were talking about that last week when you were going over the upcoming schedule. It's insane.
You're not going to see, some of these division teams for a couple months into the season. That's retarded.
Yeah.
You got to play American. I mean,
I don't.
if we were beating them, it would be okay.
Yeah, I know. I hopefully we had this nice little palate cleanser against Colorado. Let's win 2 out of 3. At worst, we should win 2 out of 3. I'm not going to predict a sweep, but 2 out of 3 would be nice. Go into Baltimore, win 1 at least, win 1. Then Detroit, Arizona, Texas, Seattle coming up. Okay, these aren't the heavy hitters. Let's get a couple series wins out of there, and get right back into it, man. Right the ship. Get back up on the horse, whatever cliche you want to say, and just get going again. This team showed that they can play good baseball. Now we just hit a rough spot, so it's got to work through it.
Beyond the Brewers, I'm not sure. I didn't really look too far down, but the Brewers start a series against the Dodgers today, which is a good thing because the Dodgers are the first team in the NL West. Maybe we could just get a little bit of help from them. Dodgers might be able to beat Milwaukee. Maybe we could beat Colorado and take advantage of these NL West teams.
And the Cubbies and Cardinals, they're playing against each other.
And Cubbies and
Yeah.
So the Reds. Who are the Reds playing?
They're playing the Mets.
Okay. We can deal with that. We can deal with that.
Yeah.
One thing that we got to address something else. This team is 10-3 when Jason DeLay starts behind the plate. 10-3. They're 8-11 when Austin Hedges starts behind the plate.
Yeah, let's just let's keep playing the other guy. Let's not play Hedges.
And I'm not going to dispute Derpy. I mean, he is a good defensive player, but like I said, I mean, look at the record. You can only look at numbers to see what's working and what isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And 10-3 with Jason DeLay, 8-11 with Austin Hedges. I mean, there's definitely some adjustments. And this team, they had such a formula that was working, and then that guy that's playing right field. I can't even think of his name right off the top of my head.
Oh, God.
He kind of came back out of nowhere, and then they threw him in there. And I don't know. They just threw off the rhythm. Everything got thrown off at the rhythm.
Like you were saying, man, I was going back over the episodes before we started against the Rays and the Cardinals. You were saying throw our best 9 out there. Put the best 9 out there, and they didn't do that. They like you said, it was let's put this guy in, that guy in, let's change this, change that. Why change what's working?
They're like, well, Castro, he's been on his feet for 3 days on the turf up in down in Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. So let's sit him. Why don't you play him for the next 3 days and sit him after that? You got Colorado.
Yeah.
You can't. This is my problem. You would never see in a big game, in a football game, not playing your best players.
Yeah. It's only in baseball, and every once in a while you'll see it in hockey. We're going to sit someone just because it doesn't feel right, the matchup. We get a better, matchup here. In baseball, they do the same thing. It makes no sense to me. Like you said, man, put your best out there. I want my best 9 against your best 9, and let's see what happens.
You're right. Apparently, the injury to Vince Velasquez isn't as serious as some thought. He had inflammation in his throwing elbow. He left the game after 3 innings last week in Tampa. I'm sorry. But apparently it's not as bad as it looked, and he will hopefully be in the rotation this time around, if not definitely next time, and we didn't take too big of a hit on that. Vince Velasquez has been he's been putting out good outings all season long, with the exception of the one last week, but nobody really did anything well in the games against Tampa Bay, so that's okay. But the Rockies are coming in at 14-21, guys. They will be at the They will be at PNC Park tonight to face the first place 20-15 Pittsburgh Pirates at 6:35 p.m.
Let's go Buccos. We We need a win. Let's get it going. I got Bucko fever now. And then that's when they started to lose. Do you notice that? Once I started being optimistic about the Buccos,
Oh yeah.
and that's when the losing started. So you can blame that on me. You can blame the show starting late on me. Just blame everything going bad in the world right now. It could be blamed on me.
I just can't. I mean, obviously it's your fault that they're losing. I don't know how. Here, one other baseball graphic I did want to pull up and talk about for 1 minute. I came across this last night. And I'm gonna shed a little light on Derpy over here. Derpy, are you here? He's rushing.
Yes.
He's rushing to the phone right now. Whatever he was doing, he dropped
he's
it.
Running.
This guy Derpy I don't know if you saw this. You might have seen this. This guy was a Cleveland Indians pitcher, Ray Caldwell, back in 19. All right, he pitched in Cleveland from 1919 to 1921. Check this out. This dude, Ray Caldwell. He got struck by lightning in the 9th inning of his debut for the Indians in 1919 on August 24th, 1919. Finished the game after being revived. Finished the game after I think Derpy just died. Did
I die?
I don't know what the hell just happened. I heard a strange noise and so then he finished the game after being revived. And then get this, not only did he get struck by lightning, get revived, finish the game, he comes back 17 days later, throws a no-hitter, and then he won 20 games for the 1920 world champion Cleveland Indians.
My guy got some superpowers from being struck by lightning.
That's what I always wondered, like how Peter Parker got bit by the spider and he became Spider-Man.
Yeah, this guy is he got some superpowers. That's all I'm saying.
I want to know what he was like beforehand. You know, and it doesn't really specify. I want to know that he was like the worst pitcher in the league.
Yeah. And then after this, he became the greatest of all time.
Now that would really make a story.
Now, that would be great.
We do a whole segment on that. There you have it.
There you have it. Oh man.
Look, I shed a little light on the Indians, or what are they? The Guardians. Look at Derpy. Where's Derpy? Where's Derpy?
I don't know, but
what is he doing?
That guy should be a hockey player, being struck by lightning and coming back and keep playing.
They should replay. They should play this in every NBA locker room over and over.
Where did Derpy go? Did he?
I don't know.
Disappear?
I can't keep up with him.
I can't. He's just in and out. He's in his own little world. I love it.
I'm here.
What are you doing? Are you participating in other activities?
Yes.
Do you have like another podcast going on there that you're not telling us about?
Yeah, what the hell's going on over there?
Yeah, he wanted to be,
bad connection.
No.
Yeah.
We scoured the internet to find a third man to the show. We finally get him, and he's just like, nah, I got like 4 other podcasts I'm doing at one time. I'll answer you guys when I feel like it.
He's carrying laundry up the stairs, and who knows what else he's doing.
I thought I was bad finishing in the thumbnail during the middle of the conversation, and here's Derpy. He's out there just doing chores around the house.
Pittsburgh Maulers were back in action yesterday. They took on they hosted up in Canton the Birmingham Stallions, who of course was the champions last year in the USFL. The Maulers were 1-2 coming into the game. The Stallions were 2-1. This team is really frustrating to watch.
Very frustrating.
And it's usually all the way up until yesterday. I've noticed they have a very strong, dominant defense most of the time, and their special teams are strong too. For example, in the past couple of weeks, they've returned a punt return for a touchdown. They've had a lot of success with their field goal kicking. They're able to generate a lot of points through the foot of their kicker. But yesterday, Mike, as bad as that offense is, it was the offense that kept them alive and the special teams that killed them, because at one point, Troy Williams, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Maulers, he breaks one kind of a Lamar Jackson type play, goes all the way down, scores a touchdown, and then it was the ensuing kickoff.
Oh God!
Where they returned it 80 some yards for a touchdown and took the lead back and ultimately was able to beat the Maulers because of this. So I don't know what to make of this team, Mike. A couple of things that I did notice was that Reuben Foster wasn't in the lineup yesterday. I know that he had some sort of injury a couple weeks ago. Excuse me. So he was not playing. So I did notice that the defense was a little light. Still, you're holding a team like the Stallions to 24 points. That quarterback, he's tough. I mean, he's making things happen at the end of the game against our defense. So, it just depends on which team you're going to get and which side of the ball is going to play football that day. Yesterday, it was the offense, as I said, made it happen. They were able to put points on the board and score when they needed to. And it was the special teams that killed us, and the defense wasn't able to quite keep us in the game like they needed to. So, what are we going to have with this Maulers team moving forward, Mike?
See, I was really impressed with the way Williams played last week. This is by far his best game. Yeah, he didn't have any passing touchdowns, but look at his stats: 21-33, completed 63% of his passes, 217 yards, quarterback rating of 82.5. Those are fine numbers. 7 rushes. That 34-yard touchdown run was a beautiful play. It was an option run to where he hand off to the running back cutting this way, and he took it up the left-hand side, and like you said, it was like a Lamar Jackson-esque run where he made a couple people miss in this a foot race to the end zone. And my God, I'm thinking that's ball game right there. We jump out we get the lead. I'm like, we got him. We're celebrating that and turn around like 80-yard kickoff return, which is surprising because that, like you said, man, that special teams unit, punt return, kick return, on both sides, stopping the punt returns and kick returns, we've been really good at. And, all it takes is this one bad play, and that's what happened. It was just bad coverage by the kickoff return team. But I want to go back to that very first drive of the game. The Maulers are moving the ball down the field. Then they get inside the goal or inside the red zone. It was third and goal from the 3. They're passing the ball. Our quarterback was 3 for 3, gets down there on second down, throws an incomplete pass. What did they decide to do? A draw play to a fullback from the 3rd-yard line that everyone on that defense saw coming. Like, what was their offensive coordinator thinking? What was their head coach thinking in that situation? To me, right there, that was a huge turning point in the game. Because if you go up 7-0 against this team, that's gonna give you confidence that okay, we were moving the ball. Now we can put points on the board right there. That just showed that they were playing. The coach was playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
What we should have as a coach? I was telling Mike over the weekend that I seen the game from the day before, from Saturday, the Memphis Showboats. I saw Todd Haley.
Yes.
I wasn't the greatest coach ever, but you know what? This guy, I mean, he, as Mike said, I just don't understand what the Maulers are doing. I don't understand what their coordinators are doing. I don't understand why you're running a draw in that situation.
It made no sense, especially it'd be different if we had a really good shifting running back or big power back there. No, it looked like some dopey fullback we handed the ball off to on a draw play it really wasn't sold on the line. Their defense knew what was coming, it felt like, and they had the line stacked. It was just a bad play call. And the play before it, the incomplete pass wasn't a bad incomplete pass. The receiver didn't get his head around in time. If he did, it would have been a touchdown, a sure touchdown.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were thinking there. It blew my mind.
They do it. They got to get a little bit of momentum going with this quarterback too. Get a touchdown in that situation.
Yeah. Build his confidence, man. It was just very, very frustrating. I do.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I do like their. Did you notice when they get a turnover now? The guy who gets the turnover carries around his big ass sledgehammer.
Yes.
On the sideline.
I love the sledgehammer.
I love that. I think it's great. I love it. I think more teams should do this in the NFL. You see a lot of this in college where, the guy will wear a big gold chain or a big blinged out chain or carry something around. I like this. I want it to carry over into the NFL.
I think everybody kind of has it now. Even in baseball, everybody has their home run thing, and everybody in football has So before you know it, everybody's going to be doing something.
I like it. It's fun. I think it was, who was it? UNLV. They had a giant slot machine where
Oh yeah,
you go over and you pull the thing and do something. I thought that was great. I think it was UNLV. I hope it was, because it would make sense since they are in Vegas.
right. The Pittsburgh Maulers, they have a chance to get a win back. This Saturday, they play the Michigan Panthers, who are 2-2. This is going to be at their home field. As I mentioned the other day, or just a few minutes ago, about the Memphis Showboats and Todd Haley. Another thing I did want to mention is their kicker over there as well. They have a former Pitt kicker, Alex Kessman. Now, we were talking about Blewett's success last week, and again this week Blewett went 4 for 4, and he had a great game as far as kicking field goals. This Kessman over on Memphis, he's also having a successful season. He came in for the Showboats to kick for them guys, and he ended up booting a 54-yard field goal through. So if you learned anything from this, take some kickers from Pitt.
Exactly. They're doing well.
Yeah.
Well. Especially in USFL, because Blewett, man, I remember when he was in the NFL, I was like, Chris Blewett.
Yeah. I remember thinking that too. I remember thinking that when he was in college. I thought, who would want this guy? Who would want this guy with that name?
Your name's Blewett.
Yeah. Especially when you're a kicker.
If you, the only time you want someone with the last name of Blewett is your girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Terrible, Mike. Terrible.
Over in the Women's Football Association, the Pittsburgh Passion continue on their tear to start the season. Like, they're 2-0.
I love it.
They took on at home. They hosted the Tampa Bay Inferno. Of course, Mike loves this team.
I love that name.
He loves the name. And it was not quite as dominant as the first game. I think when they won 41-14, give or take. 21-6 was the final count on this one. It was 14-6 late. They ended up getting a turnover late in the game and then being able to punch it in, winning 21-6. Pittsburgh Passion is off to 2-0. They'll be going to Boston next week, Mike, to where they have a rematch of last year's conference championship game. So this is going to be a good one this weekend on Saturday. Be able to, make sure you can check that out, because we're going to go to see these women play.
We have to. My God, they whoop our asses trying to go out there and play.
And I tell you what, you look at some of these other games, like through the WFA. Some of these teams are really dominating. You know what I mean? We're winning games. We're winning games, pretty convincingly. Some of these teams, Mike, I seen 63-0 and things like this.
Ooh.
So the games are going to get tougher, but right, like I said, off to a good start. 21-6 win over Tampa Bay. They will be heading to Boston for a big showdown next week.
Keep it going, because they play. I think they play Boston twice. I was just looking at their schedule. Yeah, they play Boston twice this year, and we play the DC Divas twice as well.
Who's the other team then?
We got the Detroit Venom after the Boston Renegade.
Okay, is that at home or away?
That's away.
And now that I want to go, they're gonna have all away games.
Well, I'm looking at it because they have, away, home alternate. I don't know what that means. I don't know where the alternate site is. And then the last game on June 10th is at home. The alternate field. Yeah, it's going to be at Slippery Rock.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I want to talk. Let's talk NFL, guys. I got it. We got to talk about some couple things here. The schedule. Everybody is ready. They're ready for the schedule to come out. They're planning. What?
They're not ready. They're not ready. I thought you saw that. Yeah. The news is they're not sure if they're going to be ready by Thursday.
Oh, there you go. So
yeah,
I'm ready. Everybody out here is ready, but apparently
the scheduling committee is not ready, man.
The scheduling committee is not ready.
Yeah, they're meeting with Goodell to apparently, I think it's either today or tomorrow. They're having a meeting with Roger Goodell about the schedule. So I don't know what's going on. You never know, like if there's, was a venue booked for something, thinking there would be an away game. You never know what's going on. So that's wild, man. They're not ready yet. It's wild. I wonder if it's going to be like the games later in the year once they can start flexing games. if that's where an issue's coming in. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on because I don't think there's any real stadiums being renovated, any stadiums being built to be open. So I don't know what an issue can be. But yeah, they're not ready. You have all this is all you do is work on the schedule. You cut it, each division plays, on a rotating schedule who's going to play. So those ones are set. You're playing your interdivision games. There's like 5 games a year. Each team has to figure out of who they're going to play. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You have one job, throw it into a fucking computer and have them print it shit out.
Right. Have Chat GPT or whatever.
Yes, I'm gonna have one of these knockoff ones from Chat GPT make it.
Make a schedule with a backward arm, or
You should have seen the thumbnail the AI came up with today.
I hate that AI. I hate it. I hate it.
I just typed in like recapping weekend sports, and like it had helmets, and like it tried to say like some fake news network in the top, but like the faces inside the helmet it looked like decomposing faces and stuff you'd see in a horror movie staring at you.
Yeah.
It was like, no, I can't go with that one. That's not very vibey.
Have you ever seen that picture where like somebody typed in the AI with the world's last selfie is going to look like? And it's like all these zombie looking people, and they're all like, dead looking at the camera, and it's freaking creepy, man.
That's something I would come up with for our show.
Yeah, that'll be our that will be our thumbnail tomorrow. Watch.
You know what? I'll put that up there. I like today's. I have firefighters putting out a big blaze in the back, and Derek Shelton just staring 1,000-yard stare.
We do know, however,
toll roads.
Huh?
We got P just saying toll roads.
What's up, Big P? I don't know. I don't get the toll roads thing, but hey,
if you don't pay a toll, we don't eat no rolls.
There you go.
Robin Hood Men in Tights, baby.
One thing that we do know, we don't know that the what the schedule situation is going to be. However, we do know that rookie camp will be starting on May 12th to May 14th. We then know that the team's OTAs will be May 23rd and running through June 8th. And finally, the mandatory mini camp will be June 13th through June 15th. Those are some important dates there you want to keep in mind as football season is right around the corner.
And then my favorite part of the year, which players don't show up to the optional team or just the optional and involuntary or the voluntary workouts. And then because every year a player goes, I think you should all look up the definition of voluntary, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, I know.
It's my favorite time of the year. Like this time of the year,
you learn a lot about people,
For me, this is like for rookies, for free agents that came to the team.
You learn a lot about people's heart
to get acclimated. That's what like a lot of this stuff is for me. That's the way I see it. Like, because like, yeah, I'm sorry, like people like back in the day, like Ben he should have never shown up to these. Troy shouldn't. They're gonna be ready to go when they're there. For me, this is for the newer guys and the younger guys to get acclimated to the team.
There you go. One thing also that I did notice, Mike, we don't have people that are guaranteed. We have people who are going to make the decisions not to show, but one person we do know is going to be at the Steelers training facility sometime in the near future is JJ Watt. Now, this story, I don't know if I'm understanding entirely. What's the big deal with Tomlin and JJ Watt at this point? I don't understand what the big, he's going on. We got to get you here. We got to get you here. Just this morning, I seen the headline that said JJ Watt, Mike Tomlin set up a visit to the Steelers training facility. What's the big deal with this JJ Watt situation going on? Who cares? Right? I mean, he's right. You're not bringing him in as a player. You're just bringing him in as a visitor. I don't understand the big story here.
A visitor pick, hey, get him in, pick his brain. Just BS with them, get a nice little photo up, and hey, maybe see if you can coax him into becoming a coach, a consultant of some sort. Why not get one of the best, defensive linemen in NFL history, one of the best ever.
I mean, do you think that's the case, Mike, or do you think that it's just I think it might be
formal,
a thing. How you doing?
It's probably just
your
one
brothers.
Of those, yeah, probably just one of those things, and they're making, they're just goofing around on social media, making a bigger deal of it, and then therefore people are going to make a big deal of it, and then therefore people are going to talk about Tomlin, they're going to talk about the Steelers, they're going to talk about Watt, and then all the other Watts, and then talk about the Steelers more. So get eyeballs on the product, man. So you never know. I think they're just having fun. You know,
Yeah, I
he's
do too.
retired now, and just bring him in, tease it and get the fans fired up. Like, oh, is JJ Watt going to come out of retirement and play? He's going to play one more year. Oh, is he going to, like I was thinking, is he going to come coach? Is he going to be a consultant? Just stirring up the rumors, man. Have some
I
fun
just,
with it.
it seemed like he seemed awfully, Coach Tomlin seems awfully fancy in this situation. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, what's the deal? Why, what do you even care? Why didn't you do that? Or, I don't know. I don't put much stock into it. I just thought, let's see what Mike thinks. What about you, Derpy? What do you think about this JJ Watt invitation? Is it people making more out of it than what it is, or I don't know. What do you think, man?
I'm probably making more than it is.
Yeah,
I'm one of those.
Derpy's wanting. He's coming out of retirement. He's going to be playing. He's going to get 20 sacks.
Yeah, right.
Am I right, Derpy?
Yeah, it would be nice. But
I was never a big Watt fan of that Watt. He was always hurt.
Yeah.
He plays 6 games a year. He was dominant in those 6 games a year, but he can only play a handful of games a year.
My thing is, you could probably use him to a limit if he does come back.
Yeah, but that's going to, delay the development of, someone like DeMarvin Leal or Keanu Benton. He's going to take up a spot of someone who's going to be able to produce. And, we're not one guy away from that defense to go into a Super Bowl.
I think we are. I think
I think
defense
we
is
are.
good enough. I'm going to get to a reason why we might not be here shortly, and I don't think it's going to be interesting. It's interesting, so just hang loose there. Couple comments you might have seen that we had up on the Facebook post this morning on the Facebook page. Omar Khan says the Steelers could continue to add in the offseason if there's opportunities to keep adding. He says we will. I think our signings have been really reflective of who we want to be this year. And also Andy Weidel. I don't know if it's a quote on him or about him or by him, but okay. It says Weidel brings exactly what the Steeler Nation wants to Pittsburgh, and he's letting his actions speak for themselves.
I like it.
How can you not really buy into what these two guys are doing and what these two guys are saying? Until we come out this season and lay an egg and just have the worst season ever, you got to really be behind these guys. And it's really exciting going through this offseason because these are situations that we generally don't experience, go through, and get to enjoy, watch play out. You see other teams doing this all the time. But the thing that really gets me about this is, this Weidel, he played a big part in putting this Philadelphia team together. And this Philadelphia team, because the way they're set up now, look at how they're set up. Look at this amazing. They had the number 2 defense last year.
Mm-hmm.
You shed a couple players, and you come back and you draft Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
and a couple other guys. I'm thinking, geez, oh man. So whatever Philadelphia is doing, as I said, we don't want to. I don't care what Philadelphia does. Screw Philadelphia. But you know what? There's some things that are happening that because of the way that these guys are operating, it's going to make our team a lot more competitive. And like I said, the only thing that's going to change my mind is if this team comes out and doesn't have any success this year. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine that's the case.
And Weedle was saying, he wants to, their goal was to rebuild in the trenches, to make them dominant on both sides of the ball. That's what Philly did. Look at that offensive line. They had one of the best offensive lines in football, starting with Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. And you look at that defensive line, it was the same way. It was a dominant defensive line. And what are they trying to do in Pittsburgh? Build that dominant defensive line. Because, you have a young quarterback. What's a good thing for a young quarterback? A good running offense and a good defense that can shut other people down. And so that's what they're doing. And they're building this team the right way for, the talent that we have. Not just because, we're the Stellars and we got to have a power run game. No, you look at the talent you have and what works, and, having a dominant line, whether you're a passing team or not, or a running team, you have a dominant line. You're going to control that line of scrimmage. You're going to control the passing game. You're going to control the running game, which is what you need. And I'm loving this. I'm loving his input. I'm loving that Omar Khan was not afraid to go outside the organization to bring someone in for a fresh set of eyes.
Absolutely.
I'm loving it. This is exciting. And I think we said it before, I have not seen Tomlin this excited in a long time.
No.
He is geeked up every
He's
day.
smiling and being
Yeah.
goofy and giggly, and
I haven't seen this in a long time from Mike Tomlin. And that's encouraging because when he first came in, he was all smiles and all energy and ready to go. And it seems like the past 5-6 years, he to quote Shawn Michaels from WWF back in the day, he lost his smile. And now he has it back. And now he wants goons. He wants those. Yeah, I think Tomlin is now, he's back in his element. He's loving it.
yeah.
And the players are going to feed off of that energy.
Hope nothing crazy happens in the sense that where they trace this goon thing back, is the only one of the things I'm concerned about. You recall the hits that was it Sean Payton's Saints the one year,
Yeah, they had all
got
those,
them in a bunch
the
of trouble.
bounty gates. Yeah.
Sometimes you really have to watch what you say, and in a company so big and so successful, I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass eventually.
Yeah, where they're looking, where the refs are paying extra attention.
Right, and they act accordingly, and it's I just hope that's not the case.
I can see this defense rattling around that.
Yeah,
going like having remember when they have the 60-minute men shirts?
Yeah, I love.
And I can see them coming up like the Goon Squad or something like that.
All right. P says, "Is the mathing? I don't know. Is the mathing? I'm not sure what that means." P, I am.
Oh yeah, because you we had something.
Please help me
here,
Mike. I need a translator for P today.
Wasn't that from last week? We were at the end of the show. We were having trouble mathing. You were having trouble mathing. Yeah,
like doing math.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Know. Did we? What?
I don't know. I'm out of it, dude. I'm hopped up on cold medicine today because I'm almost stuffy. So
I don't know. I just need some help with P today. I don't get it. I didn't get the toll roads.
I don't know. I'm a mess today. P's a mess. You're a mess. We're all a mess. You know who it all goes back to?
Derpy. He just heard his name from the other room. Yeah.
He's like, hold on. He's talking to his 4 other podcasts. He's like, hold on, guys. My fifth show wants me.
He's skimming his fish tank now.
Football was fun because you could hit people. That was the best part of it.
Yes.
Like any other sport where you go off like that, oh no, it's too hard. You're playing too rough.
No, they encourage you. They encourage you to be tough men, and
then not be able
hurt people,
and then not be able to walk by the time you're 35.
Yes, that's what football is all about. That's the football I know
being
and
crippled
love.
By 35.
Yes.
Yeah. Wheelchair by 50.
Nick Foles was released by the Colts the other day, and
do we get him?
No,
well, I don't think that we do. I just wonder what's the deal with Nick Foles anyway. One day he's a backup, the next day he's stepping up for somebody. He wins a Super Bowl,
and
then he's a backup. Now he's released. I just can't figure this guy out. What is he? Who is he equivalent of in the league?
He's a backup quarterback. He is what he is, man. That Philly team that won that Super Bowl, it was just a magical time. I don't think it didn't matter who was quarterback at that point when he came in to take over for Carson Wentz. They weren't going to lose.
Yeah,
they were just rolling, and he jumped on a moving train and just kept on going. And you know what? Good for him. He made a lot of money from it.
What does he put you in mind of? Is there anybody in this league that has his talent wise? I think the overrated Jared Goff is right around the same skill level to me personally. The guy I seen lose 13-3 in the Super Bowl, somebody that couldn't produce any points in the Super Bowl. That's the guy that I compare when I think of Nick Foles. Am I wrong? Is he that's the skill level I think of?
I can see it. Yeah, I'm not impressed by either of them.
Neither am I. I haven't been impressed with Jared Goff not once. Since this guy's been in the league, the Rams, the Lions, whoever, I just can't get into Jared Goff.
No.
And as much as the Lions are doing, unless, as you said with the Philadelphia Eagles, that they were a moving train and you could have threw anybody in there that season and they would still have won the Super Bowl. I think that might be the case with this Detroit Lions team. They're becoming so talented through the through off-season work, through the draft. At some point, they might just end up being so good that Jared Goff becomes, the situation.
I'm not a fan of Goff. I never have, like you said, that Super Bowl was he. God, he was terrible. He was terrible. Yeah, Sean McVay didn't call the greatest game, but you overcome that if you're a good quarterback, and he could not. So it's just I think he's better than Nick Foles, but not by that much. And then Nick
Yeah.
Foles is
Like,
God, the people are talking about getting Nick Foles as a number 3 quarterback. Why? Why? You don't need him. You don't need him.
That's kind of where I was
Mike-
going with this.
Derpy.
Yep. What's up, Derp?
you know what Nick Foles reminds me of, fellas, as an Ohio State fan?
What's up?
Cardo Jones.
Yeah.
You,
He
you
took
know what I'm
over.
going with?
Yeah,
You know what I'm going with?
Yeah, because he took over and he won that national championship, and then that was it for his career. You know, everyone thought he was going to take the next step, and he never did. But yeah, that's a very good comparison.
Now, the other quarterback that just got mentioned over the weekend, or I think was mentioned prior to, but I really seen it over the weekend, was this guy from Clemson, this quarterback out of Clemson, in the talks of looking for this third string quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do believe he would be the guy that came in after Trevor Lawrence and that just left Clemson. Am I looking into this right,
Bryant?
Mike?
Is it Bryant?
I can't remember.
I think it's Bryant.
God,
He left. Remember, he transferred out at one point.
I can't remember. Oh God, Kelly Bryant
Is that who it is?
could be if that's the guy Derpy's talking about.
I think that's who it is.
Yeah, because he's where's he playing now? The Arlington Renegades.
Okay. So he's playing in the big XFL championship this weekend.
Yeah.
Get a chance to check him out. That could be our third string quarterback. But you know what? There was names we brought up earlier that we said, you know what, this guy could be, this guy could possibly be, this guy, they've been invited to other camps, which means they won't be invited to ours as well. But, sometimes you have to swoop in and grab one of these guys if that's who you want. And I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Third string quarterback. Who do you think we're going to finish out with?
It's too early to tell. I look for I think the dude we signed to the undrafted rookie
Minnesota guy.
Yeah. I think
he'll
be
the smart move.
Depending on what he does in camp and like all the little stuff before training camp, see how he plays and practices. Then through training camp, see how he does, because you can always find another quarterback who has league experience to be your third string quarterback halfway through camp. See what this guy's riding on it, because sometimes they usually go in with 4 quarterbacks in the camp. So, they might take a look into the XFL once it's done and the USFL, maybe pick someone up from there or someone else off the scrap heap, a former starter or former backup, get him on the cheap. And don't forget, I know people don't want to hear, but Mason Rudolph is still available.
At this point, why not sign him?
I would not be afraid to have my quarterback room be the same it was last year.
No, neither would I, because it's not going to get better by bringing in a third string quarterback who is better than Mason Rudolph for a couple of reasons. For one, as you were saying the other day, Mike, if you get to the position where you're relying on your third string quarterback, things aren't things aren't going well. Good, and you're going to have bigger issues than that at that point. For two, the guy knows the offense. Mm-hmm. Say what you will, he probably knows the offense as much or better than the other guys that he's playing against, because he's a smart guy. He's been in the system for quite some time, and he's been preparing to ultimately play that position of the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if it ultimately came down to it, you could probably continue to get him pretty cheap. I don't know what Mason Rudolph makes now, but I think Mason Rudolph wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, we're not bringing in a third string quarterback to carry this team through the season and win a Super Bowl. We have plans set. So at the end of the day, I think it would be one of the more logical picks. I think either one of two things: Mason Rudolph gets brought back as the third string quarterback, or you go with this young kid, pay him peanuts, the kid from Minnesota, and just kind of have a body there to get by. Other than that, I can't see us fishing too far for a third string quarterback.
Me either. And I would have confidence if, Mitch went down, Kenny went down, and we had to play Mason for a game or two. I would have confidence going into those games, because the last game he played, that Lions game, they should have won. But for Freiermuth, and Deontay fumbling in key situations, and that caused the game to be a tie. He was moving the ball, played pretty well. on short notice because everyone
Right.
thought Ben was going to be able to play, and we were the only team that year where our star quarterback got COVID, where the schedule wasn't moved around for us. We got
And that
screwed
was,
there.
yeah.
Mason got screwed there. So I have no problem with him. He would be an effective number 2 if something happened to Mitch.
Plus,
Or if
you
a team
gotta
comes
remember,
if we sign him and a team loses their number 1 and someone wants to give Trubisky a try, kick the tires on him. Omar Collins not afraid to make a trade and get a draft pick for him. Okay. And you have Mason as your number 2. I'd be okay with that.
and you got to remember too, Mason Rudolph has that permanent Steeler logo on his
On his
skull
helmet. He's ready to go.
from Myles Garrett, of course.
Yeah, I never used to be that big of a fan of Mason Rudolph, but you watch him throughout his career. He kept getting shit on by the fans, by the organization, by the opposing teams, and he just came in every day, smile on his face, eating shit and doing what the team asked him to do. That is a team player right there.
Yeah.
You never heard anything bad about Mason Rudolph as a person or as a teammate. And for me, that situation he was in, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, no, you're right. Another thing I do want to talk about, fellas, this one here caught my attention for multiple reasons. I think you're going to understand why as soon as I read it. But this matchup was brought to my attention from earlier this season in a game between Purdue and Penn State. Purdue and Penn State. Now, what the correlation is rookie Charlie Jones, who was a receiver for Purdue,
Mm-hmm.
and now he is a receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. And of course, we all know that Joey Porter Jr. was our second draft pick out of Penn State. Of course, the cornerback that we all love, we wanted, we needed. And here's my issue. So this day that they faced one another, Purdue, Penn State, the numbers were Charlie Jones, 12 receptions, 153 yards, 1 touchdown. And Porter was targeted 14 times while he was covering Charlie Jones. Give me some upside, please, on Joey Porter Jr., Mike. I just need somebody to encourage me. I need somebody to talk me up a little bit because
there's
I'm hearing he has no hands. I'm hearing, all these matchups that I'm reading, where he got dominated. Please tell me that he's better than everything that I'm reading.
Yeah, because after that game, he was targeted 13 times the rest of the year.
Why is that? I mean, I would think
he got better.
He got better to him.
He got better as the year went on. He improved as the year went on.
Was that an early game then?
That was the very first game of the year.
Okay.
And then in that Ohio State game, when Ohio State went for like 350 yards, he was only accountable for like 50 yards of that. Okay. 0 touchdowns. He won up against Marvin Harrison Jr. He went up against Jack JSN. He went up against who I forget their other really good receiver. Everyone he went up against that Ohio State team in that Ohio State offense, he held in check. They didn't burn him. So first game of the year to that Ohio State game of the year, he was that first game of the year was an anomaly. That was a bad game, and then after that, no one wanted to.
How do you do against the other good teams? Like, I mean, they have a bunch of schlub teams like we do, and everybody.
He did really well
does.
against Michigan because all Michigan did was run.
That's my concern. Michigan, Ohio State. The teams that anybody even cares about.
No, he did well. Like I said, he did not give up anything after that first game. So that's my
concern. Who does? I mean, is there anybody he reminds you of, Mike, in the NFL right now that you could look at and say this is what you're basically going to get with the Joey Porter Jr.? I mean, is there anybody that you've seen while watching football that put you in mind to him? It comes back to me a lot. And like I said, I'm trying to refresh this in my mind because I keep hearing that, you have another Ike Taylor, which is not a bad thing. Having another Ike Taylor, having a shutdown corner, again, is something that we need. And we definitely didn't appreciate as much as we should have when Ike Taylor was here because there was always the jokes. The guy has no hands. He can't blah, 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 blah. But what wasn't false, though? He didn't, he had a hard time intercepting passes. Would you say that he's comparable, Mike, to Ike Taylor, or is there anybody else in the league that you would say that it's more fair to make the comparison between Joey Porter Jr. and that player?
Oh God. Like I do see the Ike Taylor one because, they didn't have the hands, but they can shut down people.
I mean, is that his issue? Does he just, has he had hands issues in college?
He God, he has only had like a couple interceptions in college. He's not a big interception guy. He's more of that shut down press corner. Like, you're not going to throw my way. I'm going to bat the ball down. I'm going to jar it out of you.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like Marlon Humphreys. He's comparable to
Okay.
pretty good corner out of the Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like Porter, he can, if he doesn't have that elite high end speed, but he can slow you down at the line enough to throw you off your rhythm, and then he can be step for step for you the rest of the way from your route because he messed you up. So I think he's going to be a good corner because, like I said, man, that first game, it looked like, oh my God, it's going to be a long season for him. Then after that, he was a shutdown corner.
Now let me ask you this: everybody that wanted a cornerback in this year's draft was looking at a few names, but one of the big names that I noticed certainly was Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say Christian Gonzalez was the standard, he was the 10 in this year's draft. Where do you put Joey Porter Jr., Mike? Just because you are a Penn State guy, you watch this guy you play, you paid attention to him. Where do you see Joey Porter Jr. landing if Christian Gonzalez, in fact, is the 10 of the cream of the crop that's coming out right now? Where's Porter at in that, so we could get an idea?
And at 8.5.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm way cool with that.
Yeah, because if you figure, like right away, Christian Gonzalez is going to have like a similar rookie year to, let's say, Sauce Gardner. The way Sauce Gardner became like one of the top corners in the league. Gonzalez is going to have that. Okay, this guy's going to be kind of like the rookie class before that had some really good play. Oh God, who was in that rookie class the year before Sauce Gardner? Help me out, Derpy. Oh my God, like Joe Horn. No, you had Sauce Gardner the year before. Was it Joe Horn Jr. or God? I forget that rookie class, but no, they had some pretty good corners there that were solid starters, but they weren't otherworldly. But you're comfortable putting them out there against other people's number 1, number 2 receivers. I think right now, Porter, I'd line him up against the team's number 2 and work him into that number 1 role. Because I think he's that physical corner where I want him to play press man. None of this 3, 4, 5, 6 yard cushion that we see from the Steelers. Put him up on the line. Let him use his physicality. Because you have 5 yards to where you can put your hands on the receiver. Let him do that. Let him work. Yeah, Patrick Surtain, the third. Yeah.
Greg Newsome.
Yeah, Greg, he puts me in mind of those guys where Sauce Gardner and I want to say Witherspoon and Gonzalez are the top tier. Porter is in that second tier with those guys, and that's not a bad tier to be in.
I mean, I do. I realize he's physical. You're watching footage, you're watching tape, you're watching highlights. I mean, this guy likes to get up, he likes to hit, he likes to get his hands on you. So, I mean, there's a lot of things about Joey Porter Jr. And I mean, it's in his bloodline. The guy's competitive. So I'm really excited. I'm just trying to get a better feel for what we're going to see with Joey Porter Jr. I mean, a lot of people are speculating that he's going to be the next great cornerback. Some people are speculating that he's not quite as good as everybody's saying. So, I mean, I'm just trying to get a fair assessment because I'm an ACC guy. I don't spend my football season watching Penn State or Joey Porter Jr. So, I do turn to you guys for that expertise. However, fellas, it is the 2-minute warning. So why don't you go tell everybody about the website, Mike, and we'll get into the trivia of the day.
Dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there. We have links for everything you need for the Two Dumb Yinzers. Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, and merchandise store. Email addresses, Facebooks, Twitters, all that fun stuff at twodumbyinzers.com.
There you go. Go check that out, everybody. Lots of cool stuff over at twodumbyinzers.com, www.twodumbyinzers.com. We are on all week long, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And every show that we do every day will be uploaded that same day at 8 o'clock in the evening over on Spotify. If you only have an opportunity to listen to the show, you can find it over on Spotify after 8 p.m. Guys, today, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're turning a new leaf. We're going to start winning baseball games again. I promise you. We got Keller on the hill. We got some things that are definitely going in our favor, opposed to the way things went for the past 7 days for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Colorado Rockies come to town tonight. So, of course, today's trivia question is going to be a Colorado Rocky trivia question. Derpy, how comfortable are you with a Colorado Rocky trivia question?
50-50.
All right. Mike?
Yeah, 50-50.
All right. Here we go.
Wait, Brian, before you proceed.
Yeah.
I have 2 things to say.
Okay.
today in Steelers history, we drafted Ryan Shazier. And the other thing is, Bill Cowher's birthday's today.
Derpy, if it has anything to do with Ohio State, Derpy will know. Shazier was an Ohio State guy, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that information, Derpy. And happy birthday, Coach Cowher. You guys ready for some trivia?
Yes.
Here we go. In 1992, the Colorado Rockies were an expansion team. Can you name the expansion team who entered the league the same year?
Ooh.
In 1992, the Colorado Rockies were an expansion team. Can you name the expansion team who entered the league in the same year? Two teams came in 92. Who was the other? Go ahead and take a minute to think about it. We'll get your answers. P on the board as well. Don't be afraid to chime in.
That's tough, Mike. That's real tough. So I'm gonna do this.
All right.
Sucks. Oh my Lord.
All right. So here we go. In 1992, the Rockies were an expansion team. Can you name the expansion team who entered the league the same year? Two teams came into Major League Baseball in 1992. I'm going to give you a hint. They're both in the same cities. Nobody retransplanted this team.
I think I know what it is.
I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, who would you say the other team is that came into the league in 1992?
Miami?
Is that your final answer?
Or the Florida Marlins, whatever they were called at the time. Yeah.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
My final answer.
I'll lock Mike in on Miami. Derpy, what do you think on this one? Who do you think came into the league in 1992 alongside the Colorado Rockies?
Everyone here knows I'm a Cleveland, Indians/Guardians fan. And everyone remembers 97, so I'm going to go Florida Marlins.
Florida Marlins. And you went locked in on that?
Yes.
And, of course, P. Morton. P. Morton also has the Marlins. So I got all three guys locked in. Here we go. In 1992, the Colorado Rockies were an expansion team. Can you name the expansion team who entered the league the same year? So we're looking for the other team, not the Rockies. Mike says the Marlins. Derpy says the Florida Marlins, and also P on the board says the Marlins. I think it's gone a unanimous. We go. I'd be surprised to see if it wasn't the Marlins, but everybody, you are correct. It is the Florida Marlins. Good guessing. I don't know what kind of systems you have, because at first Yins were lost.
I'm not gonna lie, I cheated. I had to pull up the MLB list of teams.
You guys.
I did too.
I'm not gonna lie, I cheated.
Bastards.
I do have some Joey Porter info that was having trouble pulling up as we were talking about him. He only was, according to PFF, for the entire year, 143 yards against him.
Okay, we like that.
66 of them were against Purdue. Against Ohio State, he gave out 23 yards. He was targeted twice.
Okay.
2 targets, 2 receptions for 23 yards against Ohio State.
So in other words, watch out in the Cincinnati game whenever Charlie Jones lines up across them, huh?
So 0 touchdowns last year that he was responsible for. 0 touchdowns. He gave up 143 yards receiving. They threw at him 30 times throughout the year, 15 receptions.
Also, on the board, how old is Coach Cowher? I don't know the answer to this. I would guess 66 would be my guess. If I had to guess how old Bill Cowher is, Mike will look that up for you real quick.
Actually really am. I am right now. He is 66.
That is his age.
66. You know what? I ain't got time to really get on this and keep going on and on and on. But you know what? When it comes time to predicting and guessing things, that's kind of my strong suit.
F you and your dummy.
Mike is lost in animate objects. But anyway, that's beside the point. Everybody, we do thank you so much for checking us out. Derpy, do you have any wise words to send us into the day?
Let's go
Oh.
Bucks.
Let's
I
go
was gonna
Bucks, Mike.
I was gonna say Derpy had to shut down his 5 other podcasts before he could talk to us again.
What about you, Mike? Send us off. What do you got, man?
I got nothing. I was gonna make a joke about kicking Derpy off the show again, but I don't want to open up bad wounds with Ryan.
Yeah, we don't need this bleeding over until tomorrow. But hey, everybody, we do appreciate everybody for checking us out. We hope that you continue to do so. For Derpy, Mike, Ryan, the two Dum Yinzers, have a